And ain't no party like I don't think I can do it. A mega little party, party little party. Sorry. I said it all backwards. Mega, everybody.
All right, first of all, you guys are going to have to be patient with me because I got my hair done last night and I'm developing a perimenopausal bald spot right here. So my stylist switched my part. So the whole world is different because I haven't seen out of this side of my face like in 25 years. And so I feel really, really weird. But I am so excited to be here tonight at Ladies' Night because this place is always like 85 to 90% men. And I don't hate men. I mean, there's a time and a place for them. But I'm really, really excited to have all these wonderful ladies here tonight. All right. So around the end of first grade, my parents sat my brother and I down, and they said that they were going to get a divorce. And we were really young, so we didn't really know what that meant. We had a couple cousins who were, their parents were divorced, and we knew that they lived in separate houses. Like they had 2 different houses, and they got double Christmas and birthday presents. That's what we thought divorce was. So about the middle of 2nd grade, my parents sat us down and said that they were getting remarried. I mean, what the heck? It was less than a year. I mean, we didn't have any chance to try and work them against each other. And then, they timed it perfectly that their time apart had no birthdays or Christmas. And I mean, they were not divorced long enough for me to blame all of my issues on being a child of divorce. So anyway, they are still married, by the way. My parents are still married after their 2nd. My mom does joke around when my dad doesn't want to do something. She'll say, well, my first husband would have done it. If you know my mom, that's pretty funny. But my dad just sighs a lot, and he kind of goes along with what she says, which is a really good life lesson, gentlemen. Go along with it. But anyway, the one thing that divorce did give me was my love of cereal. So my dad would pick us up on the weekends, and we would go first to the grocery store, and we'd get to pick out a box of cereal for breakfast the next day. And it was any cereal, even sugar cereal. And oh my God, like Frosted Flakes, Lucky Charms, Honeycomb, and the king of all sugar cereals, Fruity Pebbles. So Fruity Pebbles, let's talk about it for a little bit. Fruity Pebbles comes in the very smallest box. Have you ever noticed that Fruity Pebbles is the smallest box of cereal, but it's the heaviest box of cereal? I mean, are there really pebbles in there? Why is it so heavy? I haven't been able to figure it out, so I Googled it. Why are Fruity Pebbles so heavy? No answer. So I'm convinced that's because they're so dense, because they're trying to pack so much awesomeness into each little crisp. So, why are Fruity Pebbles so good? They're crackly, crunchy, sweet, and tart, all in one bite. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Fun fact about Fruity Pebbles, they are illegal to sell in Canada. So, it's just proof that Canadians are no fun. Another party trick that you might want to know is if you eat enough of them, they will turn your shit green. But Fruity Pebbles are healthy. So they're gluten-free, if you're into all that. And they're packed full with 10% of the vitamin E that you need in the recommended daily allowance. I mean, yeah, vitamin E is the only vitamin in Fruity Pebbles, but it's vitamin E. Vitamin E is really good for your skin, so I just told myself that eating lots of Fruity Pebbles just makes you pretty. So I turned 50 this year, so... But anyway, a lot of people tell me that I don't look as old as I actually am. And besides eating all those Fruity Pebbles, I have one person to thank for that, and that's Robert Smith of The Cure. So, in the 80s, most girls were lathering themselves up in baby oil and going out to outside to get this beautiful golden tan. And my friends were trying to achieve that perfect goth look, that milky white goth look, so we just stayed inside. But moving here to Bristol in 1988 from the Cleveland, Ohio suburbs was the most traumatic experience of my entire life. So, I didn't look like everybody here. I didn't have the big mall bangs. And there's no Polish food here. And let me tell you that life without pierogies is very, very, very sad. But the biggest problem that I had here is that I didn't speak like everyone else. And people used to think I was being snobby when I would say, I don't understand you. But I really didn't understand them. They would say things like 10, and I said 10. And they would say, oh, and I say oil. So, and they would say, bless your heart. And I just say, fuck you. So another problem with moving here was that I was half Catholic. So my mom's Catholic, my dad's not, and we went to just enough churches to just be really confused about everything. So, but when we moved here, I found people would say, you don't sound like you're from here. And you would say, no, I just moved here. And then they would say, have you found a church home? I was like, if you said no, it was like they all of a sudden they were like having a contest or something. They just wanted you to come to their church. They couldn't figure out why. I mean, were they trying to win this contest or were they trying to get years taken off purgatory? But they don't even believe in purgatory, so I don't know why they wanted me there so bad. But anyway, if you told them you were Catholic, they would just be scared of you and walk away. It was funny, like the get the most people to your church game didn't include Catholics. But it's funny, it didn't include my Jewish friend either. But a lot of people are really afraid of Catholics, and I'm not sure why, because most of us just really suck at it. So, for instance, in Catholic teaching, there are two acceptable forms of birth control. You have abstinence and the rhythm method. And we all know that white people have no rhythm. You see a Catholic person with only 2 kids, somebody ain't playing by all the rules. When I was in high school, I would find a pamphlet, like they called it a tract, that they would sit in my seat. And they picked up one time and it said, are Roman Catholics really Christians? And I was like, oh my God. So I opened it up, it's like a comic book inside. And it said that Catholics partake of Satan's death cookie. I was like, oh my God. That's a way for me to get the most people to church game. My friends, the goth kids, they love death and Satan, and who doesn't like cookies? So, I don't like to exercise. And what I really don't like is when I say I don't like to exercise, and somebody tries to talk me into the exercise that they think I'll like. And the people that are the worst are the yoga people. I don't know if you know any of them, but they are the worst. So yoga people think it's the cure for everything in the world. So I'll say, oh, my joints are really achy today, arthritis. And they're like, oh, yoga's really good for that. Okay, so then they're like, oh, I'm just bitchy and perimenopausal today. Oh, yoga can really help that. Like, oh my God. It's like, well, I really feel the need to show off my camel toe today. Yoga does that. So a lot of my friends are really, really into yoga, and so I'm trying to support them, and so I go to it every now and again, and I'm like, God, I hate it. And they're like, oh, but wait until the end, until you get to the Shavasana. And I'm like, Shavasana? And they're like, oh, it's the best. So I Google Shavasana. It's the corpse pose, lying like a dead person. I'm sorry, but it reminds me way too much of sex with my ex-husband.